Κυρίες και κύριοι, καλώς ήρθατε. Αυτό είναι ένα πάρα πολύ σημαντικό βίντεο. Θα ανοίξουμε τους ασκούς του αιώλου αυτή τη φορά. Θα μιλήσουμε για τη Λοατκι κοινότητα, για τη woke κουλτούρα, η ατζέντα όπως την ονομάζουν πολλοί, και θα δούμε πάρα πολλά και ενδιαφέροντα πράγματα για να μπούμε και να καταλάβουμε αυτούς τους ανθρώπους όσο γίνεται περισσότερο και με τι σκοπό δημιουργήθηκε πίσω από όλα αυτά για τα παιδιά μας, για αυτή τη γενιά. Οπότε, καθίστε και παρακολουθήστε με προσοχή μέχρι τέλους.
Το σχέδιο νόμου του Υπουργείου Εργασίας, ισότητα στον πολιτικό γάμο, τροποποίηση του αστικού κώδικα και άλλες διατάξεις έγινε δεκτό.
Σήμερα η Ελλάδα γίνεται η 16η χώρα της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης που νομοθετεί την ισότητα στον γάμο. Είμαστε περήφανοι γιατί το νομοσχέδιο που ψηφίσαμε αποτελεί ορόσημο για τα ανθρώπινα δικαιώματα και αντικατοπτρίζει τη σημερινή Ελλάδα. Μια προοδευτική δημοκρατική χώρα προσιλωμένη στις ευρωπαϊκές αξίες.
Στα θεωρία, ο φωτογραφικός φακός καταγράφει τους πανηγυρισμούς μελών της Λοατκι κοινότητας.
Είναι κάτι το οποίο προβλέπει το Σύνταγμά μας. Είναι κάτι το οποίο απαιτεί το ίδιο το πολίτευμά μας. Ώστε να καταστούν επιτέλους ορατοί γύρω μας άνθρωποι έως τώρα αόρατοι. Και μαζί τους πολλά παιδιά να βρουν επιτέλους τη θέση που τους ταιριάζει. Δίπλα σε όλα τα.
Εμείς θα το στηρίξουμε. Γιατί το νομοσχέδιο αυτό πάει την κοινωνία μπροστά.
Είναι ένα άλμα προς την ισότητα, την κοινωνική απελευθέρωση και τελικά την εμπέδωση της ισότιμης συμμετοχής στον κοινωνικό βίο.
Όλοι οι άνθρωποι ίσα δικαιώματα.
Επιτέλους υπάρχει λίγη ορατότητα σε μια κοινωνία όπως είναι η ελληνική, η οποία καλώς ή κακώς ζει σε άλλες εποχές.
Δύο άνθρωποι αγαπιούνται, συνεπώς γιατί να παντρευτούν ακόμη και αν είναι του ιδίου φύλου. Όχι. Σκοπός είναι η αγάπη να δώσει ένωση. Θα σας πω τι σημαίνει αυτό. Για να γίνει ένωση, ψυχοσωματική ένωση και ψυχών και σωμάτων, ας ξεκινήσουμε από των σωμάτων, πρέπει να είναι συμπληρωματικοί οι άνθρωποι. Όχι οι ίδιοι. Συμπληρωματικοί. Δεν ενώνονται δύο άντρες μαζί, συγγνώμη αν παραπέμπω σε άλλο πράγμα, ούτε δύο γυναίκες. Συμπληρωματικοί, ανατομικά, είναι ένας άντρας και μια γυναίκα. Ένα.
Whether I should show you the following video because it's incredibly disturbing, but I think, especially if you're on TikTok, you should see this because this is an integral part of the neo-Marxist ideology. Take a look at this.
I coach a lot of people one-on-one who want to go no contact with their parents and cannot bring themselves to admit it. They feel guilty, they feel awful, they know it's the right thing they want to do and they can't admit it. That to me is a very separate situation from, I don't know if I want to go no contact or not. I've just heard about this. What would it look like? What are the ins and outs? What would happen? Is that the right thing for me or not? Right? This place of not knowing. If you're in this second category, give yourself space. Don't do anything yet. Give yourself space. Take some deep breaths. I care about you. How are you doing today? I hope you need to hear this today. Let them lose you. They have had enough chances to have a beautiful, brilliant, sparkling, giving person like you in their lives. Let them lose you.
That one's not so funny, is it? Let me tell you what some of the classic signs of a pedophile are, how a pedophile operates and tries to groom children. Grooming children means to condition child for sexual abuse. The classic signs of a pedophile are they first try to separate the victim from their parents because their parents are their primary protectors. Secondarily, They tell that child that the probable pedophile likes them, loves them, cares about them. And they tell them that they deserve what they're about to get. Every element of how pedophiles condition children for sexual abuse is evident in every single one of Jeffrey Marsh's videos. And yet TikTok allows this groomer on their platform. In fact, Jeffrey Marsh tells children to contact him off of TikTok on his Patreon for one-on-one coaching on how to separate from their parents. This is not just incredibly disturbing because this man goes viral on TikTok all the time. It's also the logical end. It is the same thing that I've shown you in all these other videos. The logical end of queer theory is pedophilia. In fact, the founder of queer theory, the woman who wrote the founding document, defended the sexualization of children, advocated for child pornography, and defended outright pedophiles. Because Marxism and pedophilia share one thing in common. Marxism requires parents and children to be separated, requires our cultural institutions to be destroyed, and requires objective reality to be obliterated.
We need to acknowledge that there are powerful lobby groups, powerful cultural and political lobby groups driving this thing. Hollywood is pressing LGBTQ+ matters in so many movies. We're seeing it in the way Amazon sets up its algorithms. There are all kinds of factors in society that are pushing what would really be numerically a fairly minority interest into being one of the main political focal points of this generation.
Kids are being taught, you might feel like you're a boy, even if you have a vagina and you're a girl, you are what you feel you are.
Some people are girls, some are boys, some are both, some are neither. Gender is all about how we feel on the inside and how we express ourselves.
They have anxiety. They don't fit in with their peers. They don't know where they belong.
The day before my top surgery, I am waking up tomorrow at 5 a.m. to have a subcutaneous mastectomy.
We're telling children when they haven't fully developed that all you have to do is medically transition and you fit in. I was one of those kids. It got me at 42. Your child doesn't have a chance.
Trans rights. This is only going in one direction. You will respect us.
The next generation who's already telling us that our antiquated ideas.
We're all child abusers. You prey upon impressionable children and indoctrinate them into your insane ideological cult, a cult which holds many fanatical views, but none so deranged as the idea that boys are girls and girls are boys. By imposing this vile nonsense on students to the point even of forcing young girls to share locker rooms with boys, you deprive these kids of safety and privacy and something more fundamental too, which is truth. If education is not grounded in truth, then it is worthless. Worse, it is poison. You are poison. You are predators. I can see why you try to stop us from speaking. You know that your ideas are indefensible. You silence the opposing side because you have no argument. You can only hide under your beds like pathetic little gutless cowards hoping we shut up and go away, but we won't. I promise you that. True. As human beings, we have a sex, male or female. That is a biological scientific fact. Now, gender is a linguistic term. Words have gender. People don't. You can have whatever self-perception you want, but you can't expect me to take part in that self-perception or to take part in this kind of charade, this theatrical production. You don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions or your own adjectives. You know, it's like if I were to tell you, my adjectives are handsome and brilliant, and no matter whenever you're talking about me, you have to describe me as handsome and brilliant because that's how I identify.
So you think it's a delusion?
Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. Like, what is a woman?
Well,
can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people who...
That describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
What is that?
Was to each their own. Okay. Each woman, each man, each person is going to have a different relation with their own gender identity and define it differently.
So
you want to reduce women, you want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals, our chromosomes, right? That's what you're saying.
You want to do is
that's
what you want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood and turn it into basically a costume that could be worn. I care about children, and these insane ideas about gender are being foisted on kids And that bothers me quite a bit. I care about the women who are having their opportunities stolen from them. I care quite a bit, yeah.
Say to parents, a parent comes to you and says, my 8-year-old son is telling me he's a girl.
Yeah, great. You're going to have them do an experimental procedure that creates the most suicidal ideation of any other population 7 to 10 years after, transition. And here's what I tell parents. You don't have the right to medically transition your child.
We have no research on long-term hormone use. We will be seeing the first generation of long-term hormone use. And we already know, at least with 10 years of hormones, you're giving yourself cancer.
Does this really matter is another question. So,
matters for those who are getting double mastectomies when they're 16.
Why should we care if we live in a society where gender is fluid?
Well, I cared because my government decided that I had to call people by the terms that they designated, or I'd be subject to legal penalties. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't care what your reason is. You don't get control of my tongue.
We'll get a different answer.
Some of it is, based on biology. Some of it is based on hormones. Some of it is based on what you wear and how you present yourself.
A woman is not anything in particular. There's no one particular thing.
There is not one particular thing.
A woman is someone who says that she is a woman and transitions to be a woman.
Who says that she's what? Can you define the word woman without using the word woman?
It's actually kind of it's a curious question, but
What is a woman?
An adult human female.
And once the gun went off, the 2 transgender athletes took off flying and left all of us girls in the dust. Throughout all 4 years of high school, I was forced to compete against biological males. I only competed against them in the sprinting events, but I raced against these athletes over a dozen times throughout the years, and every single time I lost.
Did they inch you out of medals that you would have won otherwise, or trophies you would have won?
They beat me out by 20 meters out of medals, and qualifying spots. I missed out on qualifying for New England's. I had to go in the long jump and the 4x200 meter relay, so I was forced on the sidelines in my own event, and if they were not there, I would have been able to qualify. So I missed out on so much throughout my high school career.
Did they win all the events or almost all the events?
Between the 2 of them, they won every single event they competed in.
How does that feel?
It is so frustrating and heartbreaking because we elite female athletes train so hard to shave just fractions of a second off of our time. And going into races knowing that we will never be able to win.
Sit everyone down and acknowledge what everyone's really upset about?
So Penn actually brought in people high up in the athletic department to talk to us. They brought in someone from the LGBTQ center. They brought in someone from the psychological services.
So you're upset about what's happening, and so you need psychological help.
Yeah, and they told us in this meeting, they said, look, we understand there's an array of emotions, but Leah's swimming is a non-negotiable. However, we can help you make that okay. That's what we're here for.
So you're anonymous for this interview. Why did you decide that you can't have your face out there saying these things?
They've made it pretty clear that if you speak up about it and you say anything negative, that your life will be over in some way. You'll be blasted all over the internet as a transphobe if you come out, and then you'll never be able to get a job. Anyone who wants to hire you will look you up and see you're transphobic, and your life will be over.
Bathrooms. Well, wait a minute. Bathrooms are, where you want to take this conversation instead of the basic right to just life. Is something that I'm kind of mystified that you're kind of not focusing on first. So we're going straight to the controversy over bathrooms. So you know what? I think this interview is over.
Yeah.
I think this interview is over.
I just had one last question.
The interview's over.
We want to know what is a woman.
Please turn off the cameras.
Excuse me. So we're going to end the interview. If you guys could please pack up and return the office exactly.
I just wanted to know.
Okay.
I came all this way to know what.
Thank you.
They're fair. I just wanted to know what is a woman.
You're not going to find out.
She's saying a woman delivered, a man cannot.
So it sounds like you don't spend a lot of time thinking about gender. You just kind of live your lives. You don't think much about it.
He said, no, because we believe that's a God plan.
God's plan?
He's saying that I'm shocked on what you are telling me.
He's shocked?
Yeah.
The Maasai people don't think much about gender, but they have a firm sense of their identity. It's clear that gender ideology is a uniquely Western phenomenon. So where did all this come from? Who came up with it? And why?
Hi everybody, this is Kitty Demure, your friendly favorite conservative drag queen. Anyway, I have another message for heterosexual women, the ones who have children. I have no idea why you want drag queens to read books to your children. I have no idea. What in the hell has a drag queen ever done to make you have so much respect for them and admire them so much, other than put on makeup and jump on the floor and writhe around and do sexual things on stage? I have absolutely no idea why you would want that to influence your child. Would you want a stripper or a porn star to influence your child? It makes no sense at all. A drag queen performs in a nightclub for adults. There is a lot of filth that goes on, a lot of sexual stuff that goes on. And backstage, there's a lot of nudity, sex, and drugs. Okay? So I don't think that this is an avenue you would want your child to explore. But to actually get them involved in drag is extremely, extremely irresponsible on your part. And I understand you might want to look like you're with it, that you're cool, that you're woke, that you're not a Nazi, that you're not a homophobe, whatever it may be. But you can raise your child to be just a normal, regular, everyday child without including them in gay, sexual things. So you keep your kids at home, or take them to Disneyland, or take them to Chuck E. Cheese. But if you need your child to be entertained by a big human in a costume or in makeup, take them to the circus or something. When they turn 18, then why don't you take them to the clubs on their 18th birthday? Because it's an adult thing, okay? So don't ruin your child's life.
Πιστεύω ότι, εντάξει, 15 χρονών τώρα άτομα να βρίζω, εδώ 15 χρονών άτομα δεν παραλίγο να μπω φυλακή μια φάση.
Σημειώνεται ότι οι γονείς με τα παιδιά τους αλλά και εκπρόσωποι των κομμάτων παρακολούθησαν την εκδήλωση που διοργανώθηκε από μια οργάνωση που αποκαλείται Θεσσαλονικιώτικη Περηφάνεια, με drag queen να διαβάζει παραμύθι σε παιδιά ηλικίας από 3 έως 13 ετών στη Θεσσαλονίκη. Παραδέχεται ότι πήγε με 15χρονο, αλλά παραλίγο να πάει και φυλακή γι' αυτό. Όχι μόνο δεν πήγε φυλακή, αλλά τελικά εξελίχθηκε σε θεά που την προσκυνούν τα πολύχρωμα κόμματα της Βουλής και μάλιστα βρίζουν και στοχοποιούν όσους εκφράζουν αντιρρήσεις, λέγοντάς τους ότι είναι ακροδεξιοί και σε παραλήρημα μίσους.
Στην Αμερική υπάρχει σε κάποιες πολιτείες ένας νόμος, τον οποίο έχει περάσει η κυβέρνηση Biden, ο οποίος είναι πάρα πολύ φιλικός σε αυτούς που θέλουν να δηλώσουν ότι αλλάζουν φύλο. Δηλαδή στους τρανς, στα τρανς άτομα. Και με αποτέλεσμα, όποιος δηλώνει τρανς στην Αμερική έχει πολύ ευνοϊκότερη αντιμετώπιση λόγω των πολιτικών Biden. Αυτό τι έχει συμβεί? Σε κάποιες φυλακές έχουν πάει διάφοροι, δίμετροι, κάτι δύο στρέμματα, τύποι πολύ άγριοι εγκληματίες, πολύ κακοί εγκληματίες, οι οποίοι επειδή εκμεταλλεύονται αυτό το νόμο, πάνε και δηλώνουν ότι είναι γυναίκες, δεν χρειάζεται τίποτα άλλο σαν απόδειξη, απλά να το δηλώσεις ότι είσαι γυναίκα και πάνε και τους μεταφέρουν στις γυναικείες φυλακές. Και υπάρχει μια πολύ μεγάλη έξαρση των βιασμών μέσα στις γυναικείες φυλακές από κακοποιούς οι οποίοι απλά έχουν δηλώσει ότι είναι γυναίκες. Μάλιστα είχε έρθει και στο Κογκρέσο αυτό το θέμα και είχαν καλέσει μια διευθύντρια φυλακών η οποία δεν ήξερε τα νούμερα και καλά και την εκθέσανε πάρα πολύ άσχημα γιατί εις γνώση τους γίνονται όλα αυτά. Αλλά επειδή είναι αυτή η πολιτική που επιβάλλει το καθεστώς Biden, δεν μπορεί να πάει κόντρα αν θέλει να κρατήσει τη θέση της αυτή. Και η μεγάλη αιτία για αυτή την αύξηση των βιασμών είναι ακριβώς αυτή η πολιτική. Ότι κάποιοι άντρες κακοποιοί, βιαστές, ξέρω εγώ οτιδήποτε, εγκληματίες, δολοφόνοι, πάνε και δηλώνουν γυναίκες και απαιτούν και το κράτος το δέχεται να τους πάει σε γυναικείες φυλακές.
Όλα αυτά που γίνονται εδώ πέρα στην Ελλάδα και θυμήθηκα στο εξωτερικό. Και τετράχρονα μπορούν να πάνε σε γκέι μπαρ και τρίχρονα να πάνε σε γκέι μπαρ. Ό,τι θέλεις μπορείς να κάνεις στο εξωτερικό. Εδώ δεν έχουν τέτοια πρόοδο, γι' αυτό το παρεξηγούν. Πατεράδες που μεγαλώνουν παιδάκια από μικρά, πατεράδες, όχι μάνα πατέρας, και είναι πανευτυχισμένα τα παιδιά. Τώρα άμα θέλει ο πατέρας να τα κάνει και σεξ θα τα κάνει. Δικαίωμά του. Δεν μπορείς εσύ να μπεις στο σπίτι του άλλου, στο κρεβάτι του άλλου, αν θα βάλει το παιδί για ύπνο ή θα το βάλει το παιδί προφυλακτικό να το πω έτσι. Όταν το έχει στη δικαιοδοσία του ο κάθε πατέρας ή χωρισμένος, οι δύο πατεράδες που μεγαλώνουν τα παιδιά θα κάνουν ό,τι θέλουν. Το θέμα είναι ευτυχισμένο το παιδί. Από τη στιγμή που είναι ευτυχισμένο, τέλος. Με αυτό θέλω να σου πω. Ότι δεν με νοιάζει. Ό,τι θέλει να κάνει ο καθένας. Rainbow family. Χέστηκα. Τελείως. Δεν με ενδιαφέρει. Εγώ δεν παίρνω το μέρος κανενός. Εγώ είμαι υπέρ της ομοφυλοφιλίας. Ό,τι και να γίνεται στην ομοφυλοφιλία, είμαι υπέρ. Αυτό. Δεν μ' αρέσει η ομοφοβία
και όλα αυτά που δεν γεννιέται έτσι. Δεν γίνεται. Εγώ ξέρω αυτό και μπορεί να κάνει ό,τι θέλει στη ζωή του, αλλά εντάξει, και αυτά εμένα δεν μ' αρέσουν τώρα που. Εγώ είπα το εξής, αγάπη μου. Ή μικρός γίνει το παιδί, ή μικρός το φάει να το πω έτσι το καρότο, ή μικρό στο φάει το καρότο το παιδί, ή μεγάλο στο φάει το καρότο, ένα και το αυτό. Μια φορά θα το φάει το καρότο. Να μην πω τίποτα άλλο. Εντάξει, υπάρχουν παιδιά που καταλαβαίνονται.
Θα κάνει ένα διαφημιστικό κόλπο γάμου και από εκεί και πέρα θα τον περιμένει και ο κουμπάρος, θα τον περιμένει και ο ξάδερφος, θα τον περιμένει και ο θείος του, θα τον περιμένει και ο πατέρας το ίδιος. Τώρα εντάξει, είμαστε σε μια κοινωνία πολύ πιο απελευθερωμένη από αυτή που ήμασταν πριν.
Και κατεξοχήν τα ζητήματα των δικαιωμάτων, εξορισμού, είναι ζητήματα τα οποία αφορούν κατά κανόνα τους λίγους. Και όταν οι φιλελεύθεροι στοχαστές του 18ου, του 19ου αιώνα άρχισαν να επεξεργάζονται τις έννοιες της ευνομούμενης δημοκρατίας με πιο αναλυτικό τρόπο, πάντα επεσήμαναν ένα κίνδυνο. Και ο κίνδυνος είναι η τυραννία της πλειοψηφίας. Δεν μπορεί μια ευνομούμενη δημοκρατία να ανεχθεί τη τυραννία της πλειοψηφίας. Γι' αυτό και τα ζητήματα που αφορούν τα δικαιώματα δεν μπορούν ποτέ να μπαίνουν σε δημοψηφισματικές λογικές.
Σας ευχαριστώ που παρακολουθήσατε. Είμαι η Μαρία Δασκαλάκη. Κάντε εγγραφή για να έχουμε φωνή.